Sunrise Limited manufactures office cabinets for both local and export markets. The following data relates to the cost of production of an office cabinet. Selling price per unit 10,000, variable cost per unit 5,000, total fixed cost 50,000. Required. In batches of 1,000 units, determine the break-even point in units using a graph. Indicate the profit zone and loss zone in your graph. So we start with the first one, then the second one, we'll also be going through the second one to solve all of them. Of course, B, the management of Sunrise evaluating the various production and sales levels to determine the profit after tax. Assume a tax rate of 30%, plot a graph depicting revenue and profit after tax. So we start with A, B, then we'll see if C will also be done. So A, solution. And it seems I already brought the variables picked from up there in batches of 1,000, determine the BEP in units using a graph, indicate the profit zone. Now these are the variables. There is BEP with a formula. You can try BEP with a formula, a quick one. BEP with a formula. Get BEP in units with a formula. Fixed cost over contribution margin. So fixed cost over contribution margin. That will be equal sign. The answer will be equal sign. Fixed cost is 50,000. Divide that. Contribution margin. How do you get contribution margin? Divide, then open bracket. Click on the selling price per unit, which is 10,000. Then deduct that with the variable cost per unit, which is 5,000. That will give you contribution, whatever is in bracket, close bracket. The answer is 10,000. Then BEP in revenue. BEP in revenue will be equal sign, again, fixed cost, over contribution margin ratio. Now, contribution margin ratio is contribution margin over sales. So that is fixed cost divided by, then open bracket. We need two brackets. Open two brackets. Start by getting contribution margin, which is selling price minus variable cost. Selling price minus variable cost. Close bracket. Just one bracket. Divide that with, again, selling price. You again divide with selling price and close those brackets. So the answer will give you BEP in revenue, which amounted to 100 million. BEP using graph in batches of 1,000. So in batches of 1,000, get the BEP in graphs. They want you to guess some figures, but they should be in batches of 1,000, 1,000, 1,000. So I want us to guess the start unit as 5,000. Just say equal sign 5,000, or you can start with 4,000 if you want. 5,000 is good. 5,000. Enter. The next unit will be equal sign the 5,000 up there. So click on the 5,000 up there plus. Now the batches of 1,000 are coming in. Then you just say 1,000. Then click on 1,000. Then click on 1,000. So BEP using a graph in batches of 1,000. Enter. Then drag from 6,000 moving down. That will move all the way to what we have, 15,000. Now sales revenue will be equal sign. What is the sales price per unit? Sales price per unit is 10,000. So that means the sales revenue will be 5,000 that we have on units. 5,000. 5,000 then times 5,000 times, move up and click on this 10,000. the one that is under variables, the 10,000 under variables. Now you can lock that with absolute cell referencing. You lock the 10,000 that is up there on variables, sales price per unit, enter, drag down. You enter, then you drag. Variable cost equals to unit sold, so click on the unit sold, times, move up, under variables, and we have variable cost of 5,000. So click on 5,000 and lock it with absolute cell referencing. So B46 and D27 at the top here. Enter.
Mwalimu, I have a question.
Now, once you have the variable cost and locked properly, 5,000, of course, times what we had up there, the other 5,000, you drag down to the end. We know that fixed cost is fixed, and therefore just do equal sign, scroll up and click on the fixed cost, which is 50,000, lock it with absolute. Enter, drag down. Total cost equal sign, variable cost plus fixed cost. So total cost is variable cost plus fixed cost. Variable cost plus fixed cost. Don't lock anything because you want 25 plus 50, 30 plus 50, 35 plus 50 as it moves down. So don't lock for that, then drag down. Net profit, that is easy because you take sales revenue minus total cost. Sales revenue minus total cost. Then drag down. Sales revenue minus total cost. Chart. Select from units. Select from units, the word units, to sales revenue. This time select well so that you don't have an empty chart. Then hold down the control key. Just leave the mouse and then hold down the control key. Then once the control key is down, start from fixed cost. Now as you click, don't leave. If you click and leave, that's where you end up with a. Once you hold down the control key and start selecting other things, don't leave the mouse button. So just click and hold, don't leave, and select. If I leave, then it will not give me a chart that way. Go to insert, recommended charts, then recommended charts, recommended charts. And you can see they have already given me the chart just like the other one. So I'll click on OK again. And I have my
Your
chart.
screen has disappeared.
Just position your chart where at the best place that you think it should be. I've moved mine down. I have moved my chart down. Edit it, the plus, the axis titles. If you want, you can do away with grid lines. Just do away, just uncheck grid lines so that you don't have any grid line. Mine is not, okay, I don't have any grid line. It's behaving opposite. Then here units sold, units sold. The x-axis, the other side the amount. A chart title, a chart showing the BEP in units and revenue, in units and in revenue. A chart showing the BEP in units and also in revenue. A chart showing BEP in units and in revenue. Again, the right click where the sales revenue meets the total cost, where the sales revenue meets the total cost. Make sure you've right clicked properly. You remain with one dot, right click, add label, then add data callout. Add data callout. This can be put at the top. Can be put at the top. Edit. BP in units. That is BP in units. Then the other one will be BP in revenue. BP in revenue. So BP in units and also BP in revenue. Now for profit zone, click on this line for profit. You can see the line for net profit. Just click on it, then right click. That line for profit, it's yellowish. Right click and format data series. There's a place here for format data series. Format data series. Format data. Okay, it's not format data series. It's not format data series. You right click and select change series chart type. Change series chart type. Change series chart type. That way, scroll down to the end. You can see choose the chart type and axis for your data series. So under this, we are interested with net profit. This net profit. So choose the chart type and axis for your data series. There is net profit, the last one. Click on the arrow. Change from line to area. You will see area. So there are two. There is that area. There is also the middle one. That one is also stacked area. So we have area and then we have stacked area. I'm going for stacked area. Stacked area. Either area or stacked area, then click on OK. That way. So area or stacked area. Now the profit zone is the area above. The loss zone is the area below. So you can see profit zone is here. Then the loss zone is on the other side. The loss zone is on the other side. We want to use arrows so that we can indicate the profit zone and also the loss zone. So you'll quickly go to insert. I can reduce the size of this chart a bit. It's a bit big. I will, so that I can get space for the profit zone and also the loss zone. I want to put the profit zone and the loss zone kuchini. So go to insert, then you'll see shapes. Under shapes, there is arrows. The underlines there is lines, then the line with an arrow, the line with an arrow. Then just draw. You simply just draw that arrow pointing inside here. Then you can write inside this cell profit zone. Profit zone. Now same thing again, insert, shapes, underlines the arrow, just do another line facing that, then this will be loss zone. This will be the loss zone. So we have the profit zone and the loss zone as indicated. So the loss zone can be given red as our loss zone. The profit zone can be given green because that is the profit zone. That completes part A of our question. Part A of that question. The management of Sunrise Limited is evaluating various production and sales levels to determine the profit after tax. Assuming a tax rate of 30%, plot a graph depicting revenue and profit after tax. They want revenue and profit after tax. So the management of Sunrise Limited is evaluating various production and sales levels to determine the profit after tax. Assuming 30%, plot a graph depicting revenue and profit after tax. Now this is easy to fill. Just say equal sign. We are using the table above. So equal sign, then scroll, click on the first 5,000 on this table, the table that we just have up there. So equal sign, then you click on the first 5,000 on the above table, then enter. You will see the same thing here. Then what remains is dragging. Drag down, then drag across up to profit. That way. So we have up to net profit, then we want to get tax and profit after tax. To compute the tax expense at 30%, we bring in the if statement. One of the application of the if statement is when you are computing tax. So we start with an equal sign, then if, tab. So equal sign, then if, double click on the if. Logical test, you click on the 25 million here. Click on this 25 million, the net profit. If that is greater than 0, so if that is greater than 0, comma, take the same amount, the same cell, then times negative 30%, times negative 30%. Make sure you include negative. Otherwise, the answer will be 0. So if it's not more than 0, of course, it will not multiply with 30%, then the answer will just be 0. Close bracket and enter. Don't lock anything. Then after that, you drag down. You will get your taxes. Some taxes are 0, because when profit is, when you have a loss, there is no tax. But if you have a profit, it will be taxed as seen on that. For profit after tax, say equal sign, then take the profit, the net profit, plus, just add plus, then click on the 0 under tax expense. So click on the 0 of tax expense, then enter, drag down. Again, you drag down. Now, the question was, plot a graph depicting revenue and profit after tax. So a graph depicting revenue and profit after tax. That is what they want. Revenue and profit after tax. We want to do a chart. Select revenue, then control key down. Also select profit after tax. So revenue and profit after tax. Then go to insert, recommended charts again. Pick recommended chart, and the one that will be given, you can go for any that will be given there. Can we go for the bar? You can see the best chart to use is this one. Good. Profit after tax and revenue. You can go to all charts. There's a place for all charts. Then bar. Can go for bar or even column. Column, bar. Let me go for bar. Which one is better between bar and column? Okay, column, then the first one. So just click on column, then okay. Okay, that way. So column, then okay, we have that chart. Move it down. Move it down. That way. So make it a bit bigger. Just give it the axis titles. The axis titles. Up there is amount. Amount. Period. Huku chini tuweke period. Amount and period. Then the title, revenue against profit after tax. So revenue against profit after tax. Revenue against profit after tax. The management of the company is evaluating the effect of selling at various percentages above the break-even point. Now, beginning from 0% and in batches of 5%. Now, they said beginning from 0% and in batches of 5%, change up to 50%, plot a graph depicting target revenue, target profit, and after-tax margin of safety. So what we do there is that you move to batches, and they said start in 0. So we are starting with 0, just write 0%. If yours doesn't come with percent, add the 5%, the 0%. It should be 0 with a percentage if you don't see the percent. Now in batches of 5%, we are doing in batches of 5%. That will be equal sign. The one that follows will be the first one plus 5%. So which means click on the 0 that we have here, then add 5%. Make sure you include percent. So the 0 plus 5%. They said in batches of 5%, then enter. They said we should move up to 50%. So drag down, then it will move all the way to 50% on its own. Now the units. They said that beginning from 0%, or the management of the company is evaluating the effect of selling at various percentages above the break-even point. So what was the break-even point in units? 10,000. Remember, the break-even point was 10,000. The BEP up there, if you move, this is the same question. The break-even point was 10,000. So equal sign 10,000, or you can just write 10,000. So it was 10,000. Don't lock that, no need. So they are evaluating the effect of selling at various percentages above the BEP. And of course, the first one is at 0%, the BEP at 10,000. Now the second one will be equal sign. Click on the first one, which is 10,000, times, open bracket, 1 plus, so what about 5% above BEP? So bracket 1 plus, then click on the 5%, this 5%. Close bracket and enter. Now, 5% above 10,000, 5% above 10,000 is, we are supposed to lock something. So double click, just double click. If you already entered, no problem. You'll just double click and put, make sure you lock the C125. Make sure your cursor is blinking before the star, then lock at that point. We are locking the blue one, the C125. The C125, now you can enter. Then now drag from 10,500 moving down. Now you see, a 5% above 10,000 is 10,500. A 50% above 10,000 is 50,000. The last one there is 15,000, I mean. So if you lock properly, you will see the results. Okay, Now sales revenue, we can do sales revenue, and we know the units of the sales revenue and the others. Now this will be equal sign, then click on the 10,000, click on the 10,000 times 10,000 times, what was the sales price? We had it somewhere. Sales price was up under the variables, that was 10,000, the selling price per unit. Then you lock that. Or if you don't want to move up there, just multiply with 10,000. If you don't want to move up there, and we know the sales price per unit. So you will, for me, I've clicked on 10,000, I enter, then drag down. Now, if you just multiply with 10,000, you don't lock anything. In fact, there is no cell now to lock there. If you multiply times 10,000, then variable cost will be equal sign, again, the unit sold, times, then the variable cost per unit is up there. It was 5,000. If you want, you can just multiply with 5,000, but I'm moving up and clicking on this 5,000 that we have under variables. I'm locking, enter, drag down. Fixed cost is constant, so equal sign, I move up under variables. I move up under variables, and it was 50,000. I lock it, drag down from the answer here. Total cost, that would be variable plus fixed, variable plus fixed, enter, don't lock anything there, then copy down. We know profit is always going to be the sales revenue minus the total cost. So sales revenue minus the total cost. Then the first profit, there is no profit. Tax expense. So under tax expense, you use the if statement. So equal sign, if tab, this net profit is greater than 0, comma, take the same cell, then times negative 30%. Otherwise, the answer should be 0. So that's how you use the if statement to compute tax. The if statement to compute tax. Enter. Then you'll drag down. So the tax expense for the first one is 0. Others are all expenses, negatives. You can get profit after tax. That is the net profit plus the tax expense. Add. Then drag. Then the last thing is margin of safety. So I'll calculate the margin of safety. Margin of safety. Now, margin of safety is target revenue minus BEP revenue. Target revenue minus BEP revenue. That will be equal sign on margin of safety. Click on the sales revenue, the first one. The sales revenue. So margin of safety is target revenue minus BEP revenue. So target revenue, then minus. Again, click on the same thing. Just click on the same thing. It's like D125 minus D125. Now, lock the other one. Lock the other one now. So what did we do on margin of safety? Equal sign, target revenue minus BEP, and they are all here under the column for sales revenue. So you click on the revenue minus BEP revenue remains constant. The target one will be changing, but BEP remains the 100 million. It means again you just less the same thing, but now lock the other one. The other one will be the BEP revenue, which will be locked with absolute sale referencing. So in the second one, they will take 105 minus 100. The third one, 110 minus 100 in that order. So the BEP revenue is constant. The other one will be moving. So you just lock once, then you drag down. You are going to get the margin of safety. The margin of safety. Now, whatever remains is a chart. So I'll be doing that chart. Then we close. Now, plot a graph depicting target revenue, target profit after tax, and margin of safety. So we have the target revenue. Select the revenue. Select the revenue. Select control key and select the target profit after tax. So the profit after tax and also the margin of safety. You also pick the margin of safety. So that's how you select. Start with sales revenue, then control profit after tax all the way to margin of safety. Then do a chart for that. Simply go to insert, recommended charts, but I believe I want to include the batches. Let me include the batches in this selection. So I'll be including the batches from the percentage batches. So start with the batches in percentage, go to the sales revenue, then go to the profit after tax and also the margin of safety. Profit after tax and the margin of safety. So I've just included the batches. Then recommended, insert, then recommended chart. That will give you some nice chart. Even the first one looks just good. Or even we can go for bar. This time around, we go for bar. The second one under recommended. Then okay. That will complete. I cut, then paste my chart below. Paste here, then expand the chart. Edit a bit to include axis titles. Include the axis. This one will be amount. The amount. This will be batches. This is chart, a chart showing target revenue, target profit after tax, and margin of safety, and margin of safety. So that completes the task.